Bonjour les élèves, j'espère que vous allez bien. Aujourd'hui, on va faire la leçon qui s'appelle Faites attention. Today, our lesson is titled as Faites attention. Faites attention means be careful. Faites, as we have learned in our previous lessons, there is imperative. L'imperative means to give an instruction, advice, or an order. So we say faites. Faites is the imperative of faire. Faire means to do. Faites attention. Be careful. Today, we are going to learn something about a global phenomenon called the COVID. In fact, during the COVID, almost everywhere, be it a shop, at the hospital, at the school, at the marketplace, everywhere we had instructions. So, today we are going to learn how to read instructions, and in this particular case, we are going to study how in French we give instructions and recommendations about COVID. Recommandations individuelles. Recommandations individuelles. Écoutez bien. Listen properly. I am going to read out this entire paragraph. Il est recommandé de veiller au respect des recommandations de santé publique, en particulier lors de rassemblements, activités, réunions, déplacements réunissant plusieurs personnes ou lors de contacts avec des personnes fragiles. So, I tried to read it as a notice. Now I am going to read it once again for your better understanding. Il est recommandé de veiller au respect des recommandations de santé publique, en particulier lors de rassemblements, activités, réunions, déplacements réunissant plusieurs personnes ou lors de contacts avec des personnes fragiles. So, in this particular thing, the first thing we have to notice is recommandation individuelle, means individual recommendation. Individuel est le contraire de collectif. So, the opposite of individual is collective. And then we have come up with this word called santé publique. Santé means health, santé publique means public health. And you remember, when we ask a person who is unwell to recover soon, in French, the wish is said as bonne santé, bonne santé. So, if you go to see somebody at the hospital, you go and wish that person bonne santé. Rassemblement. Rassemblement means, rassemblement, it comes from assembly. Assembly means to assemble, to come together. Rassemblement means gatherings. Activité, you know activities. And réunion. Réunion is a new word for you. Réunion means meeting. Réunion. And déplacement réunissant plusieurs personnes. As I said, réunir means to come together, and déplacement means to travel. So, any travel in groups. So, if we go back to the same conversation, the same passage once again, il est recommandé de veiller au respect des recommandations de santé publique. So, people are requested to observe respect, to observe the recommendation or to respect the recommendation of public health, in particular or particularly during gatherings, activities, meetings, and travel where it involves several people, or during the contact with personnes fragiles, means fragile persons. Fragile means people who have the tendency to get easily some disease or uneasiness. So, now we are going to learn the verb se réunir. Se réunir means to meet. There is another verb that we have learned about to meet, means another verb to meet in French is rencontrer. Rencontrer means when you go and meet somebody, and se réunir means when people come together. So, the conjugation of se réunir goes as je me réunis, tu te réunis, il se réunit, elle se réunit, nous nous réunissons, nous nous réunissons, vous vous réunissez, ils se réunissent, elles se réunissent. So, it is almost like the verb finir. Now, fragile. You might have seen this symbol in many places on the boxes. Fragile means something which can break easily. So, une personne fragile actually refers to a person whose health is fragile. Fragile and fragile in English. So, the second recommendation about the vaccination is pour la vaccination. Il est rappelé que la vaccination reste essentielle dans la prévention de la contamination, de la transmission et des formes graves de la maladie. À ce titre, chaque personne doit veiller à disposer d'un schéma vaccinal complet et à jour. It is indeed a very difficult passage at your level, but let's try to break it into smaller portions, and you will see there are many words which are in common with English. Il est rappelé que la vaccination reste essentielle. It is reminded that vaccination remains essential dans la prévention de la contamination, to prevent contamination, de la transmission et des formes graves de la maladie, and the grave or serious form of the disease. À ce titre, and in this regard, chaque personne doit veiller à disposer d'un schéma vaccinal complet et à jour. So, à ce titre, in this regard, chaque personne doit veiller à disposer. So, everybody should respect or observe the vaccination period complete and up to date. That means, if you are supposed to take a vaccination at a certain interval, you have to take it and you have to make it up to date. À jour means up to date. Veiller. Veiller means to watch or observe. This verb, veiller, will come across many a times when we read any instruction. So, je veille, tu veilles, il veille, nous veillons, vous veillez, il veille, elle veille. So, the next thing that we are going to learn is about the mask, le masque. Le masque, the spelling is M-A-S-Q-U-E, masque, le masque. Le port de masque means to put on the mask or putting on of a mask. So, porter means to put on or to wear or wearing of mask. So, porter is the verb. So, porter means to wear, to carry, both the same meaning in French. So, porter une masque, je porte une masque, tu portes une masque, il porte une masque, nous portons une masque, vous portez une masque, il porte les masques, elle porte les masques. So, je porte, tu portes, il porte, elle porte, nous portons, vous portez, il porte, elle porte. In this case, when you wear some garment, je porte des jeans, meaning I am putting on a pair of jeans. Tu portes des lunettes means you are wearing spectacles. Il porte une chemise bleue means he is wearing a blue t-shirt or a blue shirt. Nous portons les masques. We are wearing masks. So, porter une masque or porter la masque. So, in imperative form, if you have to say that you put on mask, porte le masque, let's put on mask, portons les masques. You all are formal, you put on a mask, portez le masque. Le port de masque dès 6 ans est fortement recommandé pour les personnes suivantes. Wearing of mask from 6 years onwards is strongly recommended for the following persons. Pour les personnes âgées, immunodéprimées, malades chroniques et fragiles, ainsi que pour leurs aidants. Means for the persons who are aged, who has immune deficiency, immunodéprimés, malade chronique, malade means disease, I mean people who have chronic diseases and fragile people, and also the people who are helping them, leurs aidants, leurs aidants. Aider means to help, aidant means a person who helps you. Pour les personnes symptomatiques, it's almost the same word in English, so you know it. Pour les personnes symptomatiques means for the symptomatic persons. Pour les personnes contact à risque, for the people who is exposed to get COVID. Pour les personnes contact à risque, pour les cas confirmés and for the confirmed or people who have tested positive, jusqu'à 7 jours après leur sortie d'isolement, for 7 days after their coming out from the quarantine. Quarantine means the isolement. Isolement means isolation. So, in this particular lesson, what we are trying to learn is how to read instructions and mainly public instructions. So, now we are doing this particular course because this disease has wreaked havoc on the world globally, and these are the things which you will find in many places at the airport, at the railway station, and you should be able to understand. So, remember one thing, that there are many words in French which are very similar to English. So, I will read this thing once again for your understanding, and if you by chance have any doubt about any word, you can simply look it up. Le port du masque, le masque, le port du masque dès 6 ans est fortement recommandé pour les personnes suivantes. Pour les personnes âgées, immunodéprimées, malades chroniques et fragiles, ainsi que leurs aidants. Pour les personnes symptomatiques, pour les personnes contact à risque, pour les cas confirmés jusqu'à 7 jours après leur sortie d'isolement. Here, there are 2 prepositions which we are learning anew. One is jusqu'à. Jusqu'à means till. Jusqu'à 7 jours means till 7 days. Dès means since or from. Dès 6 ans means from 6 years onwards. So, jusqu'à and dès. Remember these 2 words. And then we are going to learn a few instructions about les mesures d'hygiène. Les mesures d'hygiène means hygiene measures, like the measures that you can take to maintain hygiene. Hygiène des mains avec un lavage régulier à l'eau et au savon pendant 30 secondes reste essentiel. L'hygiène des mains avec un lavage régulier, à l'eau et au savon pendant 30 secondes reste essentiel. The hygiene, or the hygiene for the hands remains essential to wash with regular washing of hands with water and soap. Cette mesure d'hygiène est la plus efficace pour prévenir la transmission de tous les virus. So, this hygienic measure is most efficient to prevent the transmission of all the virus, all kinds of virus. So, I repeat, this measure, this hygienic measure is most efficient to prevent transmission of all the virus. So, I am going to read it once again and I am also going to explain a few words. Hygiène des mains avec un lavage régulier. Un lavage régulier means regular washing. À l'eau et au savon with water and soap for 30 seconds remains essential, reste essentiel. Cette mesure d'hygiène est la plus efficace. This hygienic measure is the most efficient pour prévenir la transmission de tous les virus, So, l'hygiène des mains, you understand, un lavage, a washing, lavage régulier, regular washing. L'eau, you know, is water. Le savon is soap. Pendant is another preposition, means during. Pendant 30 secondes, here it will be read as for during 30 seconds. Reste essentiel. Essentiel is essential. Cette mesure d'hygiène est la plus efficace. La plus efficace means the most efficient. Efficace. Efficace means efficient. Le bancaire est très efficace means the banker is very efficient. Pour prévenir la transmission de tous les virus. Tous les virus means all the virus. So, there might be a few words that are difficult for you at this stage, but if you want to know the meaning of these words by chance, which I have explained already, but if you have any doubt, please look them up on the net. Lavage is washing. Lavage comes from se laver. Je me lave means I wash myself. Je me lave, tu te laves, il se lave, elle se lave, nous nous lavons, vous vous lavez, il se lave, elle se lave. So, this is c'est un verbe pronominal. It's a pronominal verb, but means it's a reflexive verb. But you can also say that I am washing clothes. Je lave les vêtements. That is also possible. So, similarly, if it is just je lave, so se laver is to wash oneself and laver means to wash. So, similarly, there will be je lave, tu laves, il lave, elle lave, nous lavons, vous lavez, il lave, elle lave. So, the passé composé of pronominal verb, which we have learned in one of the previous lessons, I will just remind you, when it is se laver, it is je me suis lavé, tout est lavé, il s'est lavé, nous nous sommes lavés, vous vous êtes lavé, ils se sont lavés, elles se sont lavées. Remember, as I told you, the past participle in passé composé for pronominal verbs or the reflexive verbs, you have to put the gender and the number in the past participle form. Like nous sommes lavés, it comes with an S. And when it will be elle s'est lavé, it will be elle S apostrophe EST, lavé avec un E à la fin de plus. So, but similarly, je me suis lavé is for se laver. But if it is only to wash, j'ai lavé, tu as lavé, il a lavé, elle a lavé, nous avons lavé, vous avez lavé, ils ont lavé, elles ont lavé. So, you have to understand, so a verb when it goes into a pronominal verb or reflexive verb like se plus the verb, like se laver in our case. So, in passé composé, se laver is with être, le verbe auxiliaire is être, means je me suis lavé, and if it is only lavé, then j'ai lavé. And if you want to tell somebody that you go and wash yourself, lave-toi, imperative of se laver. Lave-toi. Lavons-nous means let's go and wash ourselves. Lavez-vous means go and wash yourselves. So, l'impératif of le verb pronominal se laver. So, the passé composé, the past tense, the passé composé of se laver, not passé composé. When it is passé composé, it is je me suis lavé. When it is imparfait, means giving an order, instruction or advice, it's lave-toi, lavons-nous, lavez-vous. Now, the third part of les mesures d'hygiène, hygienic measures, remarque. En absence de l'eau et de savon, il convient d'effectuer même geste par friction avec du gel hydroalcoolique le plus souvent possible. Very, very difficult for you at this stage, but these are very similar to the English words. So, let's try to decode it. Remarque means remarks or note. En l'absence de l'eau, in absence of water et de savon and of soap, in case you don't have water and soap, il convient d'effectuer les mêmes gestes. It is convenient to do the same thing avec la friction, is the same word, friction, avec le gel hydroalcoolique. Du gel hydroalcoolique is sanitizer. So, you can do the same thing with sanitizer le plus souvent possible. Souvent means often as possible. So, in case you don't have water and soap at your disposal, then you can take the sanitizer and just rub your hands once against each other. Friction is here, it means rub or the friction, like rub your hands against each other with sanitizer as much as possible. And les mesures d'hygiène, last one, le fait d'éviter de se toucher le visage, en particulier le nez, la bouche, les yeux, de se couvrir systématiquement le nez et la bouche en toussant et de recourir à des mouchoirs à usage unique et fortement recommandé. Very, very difficult at your stage, but let's once again try to understand. Le fait d'éviter de se toucher, so éviter means to avoid. Like in English, we use this word inevitable. Inevitable means unavoidable. So, éviter, from éviter comes inevitable means or evitable. Evitable means something that is avoidable. So, le fait d'éviter means le fait d'éviter de se toucher le visage. Try to avoid se toucher. Toucher is to touch. So, le fait d'éviter de se toucher le visage, avoid touching your face, en particularly le nez, the nose, la bouche, the lips, et les yeux, and the eyes. De se couvrir systématiquement le nez et la bouche en toussant when you cough. So, try to cover nose and your lips en toussant, means while coughing, et de recourir à des mouchoirs à usage unique and to use tissue paper as much as possible. So, le fait d'éviter de se toucher le visage, en particulier le nez, la bouche, les yeux, et de se couvrir systématiquement le nez et la bouche en toussant, de recourir à des mouchoirs à usage unique est fortement recommandé. So, se toucher, to touch oneself. Je m'en touche means I touch myself. Tu te touches, it's a reflexive verb once again, un verbe pronominal, se toucher. Le nez is the nose. La bouche is the lips, la bouche. Les yeux, remember one thing, les yeux means two eyes, like the eyes, but when it is one eye, it's un œil. Un œil, and des yeux. So, l'œil means one eye, les yeux. Évitez de toucher les yeux means avoid to touch your eyes. One last thing, les mesures d'hygiène. Au contact des autres, il est vivement recommandé d'aérer régulièrement la pièce. 10 minutes, toutes les heures, si possible, de se saluer sans serrer la main. Au contact des autres, while in contact of others, il est vivement recommandé, it is highly recommended, d'aérer. Aérer is to air. To regularly air the room, la pièce, as we have learned in some lesson, la pièce means the room, 10 minutes every hour if possible. So, every 1 hour you open the windows and let the fresh air come in for 10 minutes. Do se saluer, we have learned se saluer in the first class of this course, like the bonjour and serrer la main. Serrer la main means to shake hands with others. So, try to greet each other without a handshake. That way you can prevent the contamination. So, I will read it once again. Au contact des autres, while contacting others, autres is others, il est vivement recommandé, it's highly recommended, d'aérer. Aérer means to air, d'aérer régulièrement la pièce, to regularly let the fresh air come in, 10 minutes, 10 minutes toutes les heures, si possible, 10 minutes every hour if possible, and de se saluer sans serrer la main, and to greet each other without shaking the hand, se serrer la main. So, aérer is to air and sans means without. With this, we are coming to the end of the class. I would request you to write écrivez les recommandations pour éviter le COVID-19. Write a passage to prevent COVID-19 and write it in French. And bon courage, bonne continuation, à la prochaine, au revoir.